So, I watched Bugonia, and boy, do I have some thoughts. Hi, my Minty friends, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about my thoughts on the 2025 film Bugonia, starring Emma Stone, Jason Plemons, and Aiden Delbus. I hope I said those last two names right. I don't know. Before we get into this review, I do want to say there will be spoilers, so be prepared for that. If you want to go ahead and skip this review, if you haven't seen it, feel free to come back and watch after you've seen it. This was my first movie of 2026, and I gotta say, what a great start to the year. This movie, though not perfect by any means, was very interesting, thoughtful, and conspiracy-filled movie. The main focus of this movie is on two cousins, Teddy and Don, who, mostly Teddy anyway, believe that a big pharma CEO named Michelle Fuller is an alien from the Andromeda Galaxy and is trying to kill off the planet, and so to try to stop her, they kidnap her. This movie is a great dive into how deeply and intensely conspiracy theories can affect the mind, warping your view on the world and altering everything around you. While I don't think it exactly is the best movie to use to combat those feelings with, I do think that if you want a movie about conspiracies, aliens, and just some weird, frankly, sad shit, this is for you. So let's start with some character intros. To start off with, we have Teddy. He's the main conspiracy theorist in this movie, the brains behind the kidnapping. He has lost most of his family. His mother is in specialized care now because of an accident that happened because of Michelle's company. And so he has a reason to believe that Michelle is evil right there. He always tries to remain in charge. He thinks he knows everything. He's done his research, which, as we all know, is probably just reading articles online written by random people that also did their research. He doesn't seem to be a bad guy at the beginning of the movie, just a misled guy burdened by the loss of his family, just trying to get the answers he so desperately seeks. Which we'll get into a bit of discussion on the dangers of being misled by conspiracy theories later in the video, but for now let's just focus on the characters. Next we have Don, Teddy's dependent cousin. Don is special needs in some way, which is never really talked about directly in the movie, but is alluded to in various scenes, such as the scene where Don says Teddy is the brains of the operation and that he is just going along with what his smart cousin says. Don really seems to be a sweet guy, just going along with anything Teddy says because he doesn't have anyone else in the world and he feels that he has to go along with him or he might lose him too. Don really had the most tragic story of them all, if I'm being honest. He deserved better than having to follow Teddy's plans, as well as his fate. But again, we'll get into that. Finally, we have Michelle Fuller. She is strong, she is powerful, she has it all together. She didn't show many human emotions in this movie, but she's independent. She's not worried about being kidnapped. Hell, she was almost able to fight them off completely on her own. She knows that the FBI is looking for her. She's confident that she will be found soon. She didn't really have any reason for us to like her or root for her, other than the fact that Teddy was just so mean to her and yelled at her constantly. But I still enjoyed her character as the independent woman who doesn't take shit. Now, before I get into the rest of this, I want to say I will not be giving a summary of the movie Rather, I'll be discussing points of the movie that stood out to me as important and my opinions on those parts, as well as the overtones of the movie. As stated before, there will be spoilers, so please be aware of that. From this point forward, spoilers are ahead. So, the main overtone of this movie is conspiracy theories, which are kind of a tricky subject for a lot of people, I think. I think everyone believes in at least one conspiracy theory. Maybe not the huge ones, just something small, like, birds are fake. That's one I've heard said in a joking way, though I'm sure there's people who do actually believe that. But then there's also, the big, weird, complex conspiracy theories like, the ice wall in Antarctica and flat Earth and, all of that, the weird stuff. Anyway, everyone believes at least one conspiracy theory, like I said, just maybe not the majorly big and wild ones. But this movie explores how personal these theories can become to us. Teddy is personally affected by this conspiracy theory that he has in his head, that the Andromedan aliens are trying to kill everyone, including his mother. He thinks that he can stop the aliens from killing them. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind while watching this movie. Conspiracy theories can be dangerous. They can put us almost in a psychosis-induced state. And I don't say that lightly. I have schizophrenia. I know what psychosis is like. I know what that feeling of delusion is like. And that's why I say to you, conspiracies, no matter how small or big, can be dangerous. As we see in the movie, Teddy is absolutely enraptured in this mindset. He is 100% stuck in this world of his, and he cannot escape. Even if he is proven wrong about something, which he is in the movie at times, he thinks he is right. He's that far into it. What gets me about this movie is that, oddly enough, Teddy was actually right about a lot. Not everything, but a lot. And that's why I think this movie is a bit of a cautionary tale. It doesn't necessarily represent every conspiracy theory, because I truly believe a lot of them are just made up weird ass stories. They're nothing to be taken as facts. Maybe some of them have an inkling of truth in them, but to be stuck in, as Michelle said, an echo chamber, hearing the same things over and over and over again, the confirmation bias of your own thoughts, it's not good. You can't be right about every little or big conspiracy out there. But Teddy was right about Michelle. He was right that there are aliens. But he was wrong about the biggest part of it, which I think is an important aspect of the movie to point out. He was wrong that they were there to harm humans. They were trying to help the whole time. Michelle's speech about how they came to Earth when the dinosaurs still roamed, and how they found the Earth so beautiful and wanted to help humanity as much as they could. They were never here to hurt anyone. The aliens were the good guys the whole time, which I could have guessed from the beginning, although I will admit I was back and forth on if Michelle was an alien throughout the whole movie. Even with this speech, I was still guessing. I thought, maybe she's just making it up to get Teddy to let her go. But then as the movie progressed, I realized she was in fact telling the truth. The humans, to Michelle and to the Andromedans, were like the beast to Teddy. He saw beauty in them, in their society, in their work, just as Michelle had seen the beauty and dedication to the life that humans had, which is shown at the end, I believe. Michelle is obviously so distraught, even with her minimal human emotions, that she has ended the world of humanity. She loved humanity. She didn't want it to end, but it was time. They had failed as a society. It was time for nature to take over once again, and for the planet to start anew. And while she knew that she had done the planet a favor, she still felt pain in her heart for the loss of the humans, and the last of her humanity and her life on Earth. I feel like it's always a big thing in conspiracy theories that everything is out to get us. Um, but maybe some of the forces that we fear are trying to help us after all. Um, I don't know. I really don't think the Illuminati is real, nor do I think it's trying to help us. But, like, you never know. But if aliens are real, do I think they'd try to help us? I'd like to have hope that they would. Um, I don't know if I think every alien civilization is nice, but there's got to be some out there that are cool. And yes, I do in fact believe in aliens. Let me have this. Now, as for everyone's fates, Teddy's, I was kind of relieved when he died in a way. He was such a stressful person this whole movie. He let his fears kill him in the end. Truly, with the homemade bomb, he truly let his fear kill him. He was paranoid. He was over the edge of no return. It was over for him at that point. He had killed his mom. He had no one left in his life. It was his time. And with how many people that had nothing to do with the aliens, in the end, that he had hurt slash killed, I think it was actually a fair fate that he met, seeing as how he said only two of the people that he killed in his experiments were Andromedan. Seeing him die wasn't really a shock, as I figured the bomb would malfunction somehow, because Teddy, despite saying he was well researched, was in fact not. John's fate, on the other hand, I literally wanted to cry. Don did not deserve that. He was so sweet. He deserved better. He should have been able to get away from his cousin and have a good life. When he killed himself, it was such a gut punch. He was the sweetest character of the whole movie, and he was really one of the only redeemable characters in the movie, besides the cop, kind of, who also met a sad fate. I want to add in some stuff that I wasn't really a fan of in this movie because, like I said in the beginning of this video, this movie was definitely not perfect. I think some of the dialogue was a bit awkward, especially when Michelle was first waking up in the basement and realized her hair was gone. She was very calm about it and just very chill about everything in general when she first woke up. Um, Maybe she was trying to appease her captors and not freak out. But I know if it were me, I wouldn't have been so calm. I also think when Don and Teddy first came downstairs to the basement with a gun and she just ignored it, I didn't see the gun in other scenes prior to the one where she was trying to break the chain that she was bound with, but maybe that was a mistake on my part. But she seemed way too calm seeing a gun in Don's hands when he came down the steps that scene. The acting by no means was bad. It was just subdued, I noticed, and maybe that was intentional. But I just, I don't know, some of it seemed a bit off to me. Finally, let's discuss the ending of the movie. So, we talked about Teddy's death, well deserved, whatever. We talked a bit about the killing of Earth's humans, but the full ending of the movie. Did I think Michelle was actually an alien? Yes and no. I kept second guessing myself throughout the whole movie. Upon first seeing her, seeing how she was so perfect, I thought, yeah, she's an alien. And then she messed up, the video at work could be a human. And then she was abducted and was so nonchalant about it. It was odd and weird. So I questioned her humanity multiple times while watching the movie. But for the first 45 minutes or so, I was almost convinced that she was human. But then things started to change by the end of the movie. She's suddenly giving a huge speech about the planet, about the humans, and it seems, kind of almost out of place. We haven't seen this from her. She's usually subdued, calm, but now she's seeing that Teddy has been killing people in the name of saving people from aliens, and she's upset, which rightfully so. She tells Teddy exactly how to kill his mom, all while telling him that it will save her. It's out of the ordinary for her. She's getting bolder because the lunar eclipse is getting closer. Finally, when it's revealed that she is an alien and Michelle reaches the mothership through the closet, it's still a total shock to the system. Not for the fact that by then you didn't expect her to be an alien, because by then I had fully guessed that she was the Emperor. It was the setting. For some reason, it gave me very the house that Jack built vibes. Just how the movie shifted so quickly to new scenery. Now that's not in a bad way or anything. In fact, I think it was a good shift, but it reminded me exactly of Jack going through hell in the house that Jack built. Watching the aliens interact and seeing them feel sadness for the Earth and the humans' untimely demise, it really showed that they love them and their time on Earth. As I said before, even Michelle slash Emperor displayed sadness and almost a look of remorse, almost as if she wanted to cry. But she knew she had to put a stop to the tests they were running and to the humans themselves. And seeing all the humans dead, sprinkled around the world, stopped right in the middle of their tracks, it was a powerful scene, showing that the aliens had been helping the entire time, and they had the means to end it too, but they never wanted to. Even then, they didn't want to, but the humans had done it to themselves. Overall, I feel like this movie was really interesting. It was an interesting journey. Be sure to be mindful if you're in a state of psychosis or delusion before watching this movie, as I'm sure conspiracies are not what you need to be hearing right about now. I was able to watch it because, despite my schizophrenia, I am doing pretty well in that regard, so I was okay to watch it. I'm not sure it's something I would go back and watch again. Maybe if I were in the mood to do an even more deep dive on the movie. But it was a great film for sure. Definitely worth the watch if you have a little under 2 hours to watch it. I think if you're looking for a typical movie about aliens, this is absolutely not the movie for you. But if you're looking for something with heavy conspiracy theory talk, a bit of blood, and psychological talk, this is it. So my overall review is 4 out of 5 stars. I think this was a fantastic start to my new year of watching more movies and everything, and I hope that you guys will watch this one and tell me what you guys think too. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be on Sunday. So yeah, stay cool, my Minty friends, and I will see you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.